Hello, how you guys doing? James here. You probably see a picture here. This is Officer Smith. Um, he was a Columbus police officer back in 2016, and what happened was he was a SWAT officer. So he was unalive while going in on a run, and I'm gonna show you the suspect. This was the suspect that Officer Smith got alive by. This guy was taken alive. And I'm going to show you the video from that day.
About the officer and his family as well. Columbus police are keeping us up to date on Stephen Smith's condition. Good evening, I'm Ellie Merrick.
And I'm Dwayne Pullman. Police tell us the family is staying close. Tonight, this morning, officers formed a motorcade to escort Smith's family to the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center.
We have team coverage tonight as we focus on Officer Smith and his service. Let's start with Dan Perlman, who is at OSU with more on what happened here. Dan?
Well, Officer Smith has spent half his life with the Columbus Police Department, so no surprise, a steady stream of officers here down Medical Center Drive. Still a very emotional day here. Through rain and rush hour, an escort for Officer Smith's family arriving here on campus to stay with a Columbus police veteran. It was early Sunday. Officer Smith, the CPD SWAT team, moved in on a Clintonville apartment in an effort to serve a warrant for arson. The suspect fired. Police telling us Smith was hit. A well-trained, well-liked officer down.
He was cared for immediately by the other team members.
Those same SWAT team members continued to dodge bullets, even a fire at the apartment. They arrested Lincoln Rutledge hours later, only to learn the news was not good. Officer Smith remains in critical condition. A CPD Facebook post, quote, his family, friends, and a Columbus Division of Police chaplain remain by his side. The division, the chief, asking for your prayers.
This all points out the dangers of the work that we do. This is a difficult job at best, and then to confront people that we need to apprehend who want to fight back and harm us is always on the minds of our officers, and yet they handle these situations professionally all the time.
And amongst the visitors here today, I've seen former police chief James Jackson, current mayor Andy Ginther stop by here. Of course, a very emotional day. The department again asking for everyone's prayers. Live in Columbus, Dan Perlman, NBC.
Dan, thank you. As the officers continue to visit Officer Smith, we've been learning a lot more about him. As Dan said, he has served Columbus Police for over 2 decades. ABC4's Ted Hart continues our team coverage tonight from Columbus Police Headquarters about who Officer Smith really is.
Well known and well liked within the Division of Police, Steve Smith, Smitty, has 27 years on the force, most recently as a member of the elite SWAT team. His personnel file shows an exemplary record and a highly trained officer. Over the years, Smith has worked on the streets, in the air with the helicopter unit, in the water as part of the dive team, and as a sniper with SWAT. He has put himself in harm's way many times. In November of 2013, Smith was injured during a shootout in a parking lot near Easton. The SWAT team had confronted Danny Thornton, who'd shot and killed his ex-girlfriend, and a 9-year-old boy earlier that day. Smith caught some shrapnel in the exchange of gunfire. For that incident, Smith was awarded a Blue Star and a Distinguished Service Medal. In this case, Smith was in the turret of a SWAT armored vehicle like this one, protected by armor in all but the smallest of gaps.
That was Ted Hart reporting, and we can...
So they took that man alive. Like this guy, they took him alive. They didn't unalive him. He unalived one of their officers. This guy shot the police officer. One of the police officers. hold on, that's another. But as you see, this is what he looked like. This is the guy that shot Officer Smith. So now I'm about to show you about what officer did to shoot an unarmed black man. I'm about to show you. Let me go home. So remember, they took that. They took him in alive. They didn't shoot him, and he burnt down the building, right? So what happened is that this thing has happened before. Now this officer, this happened. This is Adam Coy. He shot an unarmed black man. You probably hear me in the video. And he shot this guy. He shot him. He shot this guy right here. And the case is still going on and on and on. This when I said this in the previous video. This was the guy that had his arms like this. They came to a call and they shot him anyway. They didn't give him time to hesitate. This young man was shot unarmed in his bedroom. He was coming. They went on a domestic call. This was the sheriff deputy that did this. They went into his room. They went into his apartment. Dog, guns drawn. The body cam show that the guy got. You can see the officer got the dog. He woke up out of his sleep. He was in his birthday suit. His hands was extended. Guess what? They unalived him. His mother's still suing the Columbus police. And who? So this is a history that they don't tell you about. And so they still, this case is still dragging. And here it is.
Pleaded jury being duly empowered and finds defendant Adam Coy guilty of murder as he stands charged in count 1 of the indictment.
A jury today finds former Columbus police officer Adam Coy guilty on all counts: murder, reckless homicide, and felonious assault in the death of Andre Hill. Coy shot and killed Hill, who was unarmed, in December of 2020 while responding to a non-emergency suspicious vehicle call in northwest Columbus.
Now, jurors deliberated the case for over 3 days. The trial had been delayed 3 times due to Coy's health. And we have team coverage of today's guilty verdict, beginning with NBC4 crime and safety reporter Anna Hoffman, who has covered this trial. Getting Anna, you spoke with Andy Pearson, lead prosecutor in this case. What was his reaction to all this?
Jared Pearson says he knows there are a lot of emotions in this case, so he knows it must have been hard for the jurors to come to a verdict. He said he is glad they found Coy guilty on all 3 counts, so Hill's family can finally find peace. The jurors deliberated for about 12 hours over 3 days. When Judge Stephen McIntosh read the verdict, Coy's face looked emotionless. Both Hill and Coy's family immediately broke out in tears. Pearson and the prosecuting team have argued this entire trial that Coy's actions were not one of a reasonable police officer, saying if his actions were reasonable, Hill would still be here today. Pearson has been a part of this case since the very beginning. He has said in interviews with NBC4 over the last 4 years, he wants to see this till the end. I asked him what it feels like to see a guilty verdict returned today.
Well, certainly I respect the jurors and their verdict, no matter what that verdict would have been. I know it was hard for them to come to this conclusion. A lot of emotions involved in this case. So I'm just relieved for the Hill family.
This is the first time a guilty verdict has been returned in an officer-involved shooting murder case in Franklin County. Judge Stephen McIntosh has revoked Coy's bond immediately and set a sentencing date for November 25th at 9 a.m. Local for you at the Franklin County Courthouse, I'm Anna Hoffman, NBC4.
All right, Anna, thank you. And that former officer, Adam Coy's family and friends were also in the courtroom today, along with his lawyers. NBC4's Eric Halperin spoke with his defense attorney after that verdict was returned. Eric, what is he saying about this tonight?
Jen, it was just outside this courtroom where Adam Coy's defense attorney, Mark Collins, told us he plans to appeal today's decision. While he disagrees with the verdict, he says any time a jury reaches a verdict, it is a just verdict. As Anna mentioned, there were emotional moments in the courtroom as the jury's verdict was read. Collins says this is tough on Coy's family, but they will continue to support him. Officer Amy Detweiler was also back in the courtroom today, sitting on the side with Coy's family. She was the officer who was with Coy on that night back in December of 2020. Collins says unfortunately jurors only got to know Coy through his testimony and not by working with him. Collins also brought up Coy's battle with cancer, which delayed this trial a few times. When asked if he's surprised by the verdict, Collins said it was devastated and he's disappointed.
This is just the next step in the fight. Adam Coy's been knocked down before, and so he'll go through this process. And, we place both him and the Hill family in possible situations with this. So this is just something that is the next step, and his family and friends will be there to support him, as will Miss Stevens and I.
And leaders with the police union were also here this afternoon as the verdict was read. They, too, are disappointed by this. Hear from them coming up on NBC4 at 5. Local for you, I'm Eric Halperin, NBC.
So, it's a very common thing here. But here's the other young man who got unalive. Let me see. Yeah, sorry about that. Just had this other video, but yeah, so this didn't happen. This happened before.
Unarmed 20-year-old black man, shot by cops on August 30. The officer ran up in on around 2 in the morning, was arrested for separate charges: domestic violence, assault, and improper use of a firearm. Now, folks, I want to warn you about this body. I'm about to show you because it's disturbing and triggering. And so what happened was Officer Ricky Pearson fired the fatal shot at him. Now, we couldn't find the picture on administrative reasons, but this is the body cam footage of cops the home, and what happened. I'm with you. He's got door shut. No. We're gonna send that dog in. Hands. He's got some in his hand. Some in his hand. Hands. Hands. Let me see your right hand. Crawl out here. Crawl out. Crawl out here. Get your hands up. All right, cover me. I'm gonna go in. Hold on. I need cuffs. I'm out of cuffs. Hands behind your back. Do it now. Hands behind your back. Call for a 24. Hands.
43 hands, Sergeant 24.
Get your hand back. Stop resisting. He's pulling away.
104
Yes.
on the 3.
Stomach.
We gonna hear that?
Yes.
That's 43. What do you need a medic for? That's 43. We need a medic in here. Officer involved. Copy, officer involved.
Alright. Glove up. Start rendering aid. Don't move, bud. I had gloves. I don't know where they went.
There's 2 cars that are here. We have people that need detained.
We need gloves. Pat him down, make sure he's good. Alright, let's get him out to the medic.
You want to carry him out?
Yep. Jack. Grab his feet. You're alright, buddy.
You're alright. We're coming out.
Coming out.
We're
Watch
coming
out.
out with them. We need those guys detained in there. Or in a car.
At a news, Donovan's mother and brother talked about the kind of person he was.
Donovan had the biggest heart. You'll hear that over and over again from many different people who touched him in his life in different places and in different ways, whether it's a teacher, a coach, one of his best friends. He cared about others. He was active in the community, both volunteering alongside the rest of us, and he also he wanted other people to be well. Whether he didn't have anything himself, he would share the last of whether it be food, money, whatever he had to make sure that others were safe and protected to the best of his ability.
The last week has been very tough. It was like a plethora of emotions, from being sad to angry to fear. Fear that it can happen to you as well. It's not okay. And over the time I've been able to grieve and reflect, and I've been looking at pictures of Donovan and I, and there's one picture that stands out, and it's Donovan in I think 2015, and he's at a protest, and it's right here, and it's that someone who's passionate and adamant about those type of things, like, that can happen to them as well. Like, he knew, like, this is not something that's he was oblivious to. We know these things happen, but we're still here asking the same questions. Why? Like, we put in money, we put in manpower, like, and nothing changes ever. It's the same thing. Like, as people said last week was the 3rd police shooting in 10 days. Like, it's not okay. Like, things do need to change, and but we all know it.
Reality is the Lewis family attorney right now.
And that's two cases. Now, notice when Officer Smith went in, they took the one man alive back then in 2016. Same police department. Same police department, but they did this. Well, they did another unalive another young black man. Hold on. So they unalive another black man. This time, it was a sheriff deputy. I'm going to show you this one. Let me see about this one. Let me see how I got this one. That's the Adam Coy verdict. But that's just one of them. But yeah, they've done this stuff before. But they've done this before in Columbus here. This young man got killed holding. They were on a search warrant looking for another person that was a suspect. He was a family man. He held a CCC license, CCDW permit license. The day that they was doing a warrant, the sheriff deputy, he probably, from what his family said, that he probably had headphones. And I think he had his grandmother said that he had a sandwich. It was a silver thing. The police officer, the sheriff deputy, unalived this man. And he shot, and as he was going into his residence, they shot him in the back. He collapsed on the floor, and this trial's still going on. And the family still is trying to seek justice. So this is what his shot is. So it's kind of hard for people to feel sorry, having this empathy in the community for police, because they do this stuff. This is his mom. This was so sad. He was a family man. He never had a record or nothing like that. That's what he looked like. He never had a record. But this is the one. This is the sheriff deputy that shot him. And they tried to clean his background up and said that he was a Christian man. He was a minister at his church. And trying to clean his image up. But yeah, these guys, this the guy that shot the young man that the family was talking about, that's him. He was a sheriff deputy. He retired right after that happened. So now the family's the mother is still trying to get answers from the chief of police. But yeah, this has happened before. So what you see now in Columbus, Ohio, it's been going on for a minute. Here's a chart of all the police shootings. Some were innocent. They didn't give him a chance. They gave that white guy who shot Smith and the SWAT officer in the head. They just unalived them. These was unarmed individuals. Dante Martin from Dayton. John Crawford from Beaver Creek. Sam Du Bois from Cincinnati. Columbus, Jorian Thomas, Chris Wade, Tyree King, Henry Green, Cleveland, and they shot these people 137 times. Timothy Russell, Melissa Williams, Tanisha Anderson, and Tamir Rice. This is Ohio. So naturally, this is what happened. So there's a lot of people don't have, in this case, they don't have empathy for the police, and they don't respect. And it was both Columbus police and Columbus sheriff deputies that did these shootings. So both of them did that. They used back, and the unions fought them. So now you have more police officers and more sheriff deputies, because when they do stuff like this, it puts good officers in danger, and they cover up the ones that do, that maybe so now this is what led up to today. This is outside of Columbus, Ohio. The guy that shot this guy was taken alive. The guy that shot this guy was taken alive. Sorry. It's kind of video's moving kind of slow. Sorry about that. But notice how the other suspect, they didn't take out the suspect in this county. And I just showed you, this guy threatened the police officer and he killed him. And the guy even said that he was going to shoot him. Tell the deputy this. But yet, a black man don't even say nothing like that, and they shoot him. And when Rodney Hinton, the one down there, and like I like what this one guy said, are they gonna give him the same smoke that they did with the deputy? Or when he goes into the courtroom, the suspect, is they gonna like come intimidate him? Because he clearly threatened an officer, a deputy. Are they gonna have all?
Tonight, Central Ohio mourns the loss of a Morrow County deputy. This is a picture of 31-year-old Daniel Shear. He was shot, killed while responding to a domestic.
Sorry. The buffering's bad, y'all. Yeah, the buffering's bad. I'm still trying to open up the page. Come on. Let me see that. Maybe I try it this way. Sometimes, you know how some pages, when you're trying to open up a page, it is buffering. I don't know if that's the signal or not. I think the signal on this is bad. Okay. Yeah, but it's a double standard in Ohio. And even though that's a different county, you know, Morrow County is different from Franklin County, but the guy in Morrow County literally made it threat. And the guy, you know, he got shot by some other deputies, but he lived. And the guy told him, you know, it was on a domestic dispute. But you see how this, you know, this is why, you know, black people mention why there's a double standard, even if the suspects, you know, doing something wrong, and the race of the suspect, they ain't so quick to pull out a gun. And even after they give the man the chance to live. The one that took out this deputy, they took him alive. Just like SWAT Officer Smith, they took that suspect alive. But yet, but the other ones, when it went, and this was Officer Smith back in 2016. But yet, when it came to these incidents, Officer Adam Coy And the other officers that they didn't give the people a chance to respond. And this is the kind of double standard we have in America. This is the kind of thing it is. That's why it's a double standard. That's why people get hot. That's why it's a two-tier justice system. Same crime, two tiers.
Roots residents earn rental rebates when they pay on time and take care of the property.
Fighting back tears while talking about the deputy and the man that Daniel Shearer was.
Yeah, absolutely. He did talk about the man that Daniel Shearer was, but he would not talk about the man that the suspect is. But as this story continues...
Tonight, Central Ohio mourns the loss of a Morrow County deputy. This is a picture of 31-year-old Daniel Shearer. He was shot and killed while responding to a domestic violence call. Deputy Shearer was a 4-year veteran of the Morrow County Sheriff's Office, and this was his first job in law enforcement. Good evening. I'm Mike McCarthy.
And I'm Jessica Ralston. We have live team coverage tonight. Tom Bosco is taking a closer look at how Deputy Shearer is being remembered. Kirsten Lequist shows us what neighbors say they saw and why they are in disbelief. But first, court records revealing in vivid detail the violent, volatile situation that Deputy Shearer found himself in. Shots had already been fired before he arrived on the scene.
Today we learned bullets struck a neighboring home and a nearby truck as well. Investigators say Deputy Shearer then encountered armed suspect Brian Wilson. Tonight he is charged with aggravated murder, and we are learning what led to a shootout. The deadly confrontation happened at the porch of a Marengo home. It's where court records reveal Morrow County Deputy Daniel Shearer's body camera recorded him first interacting with armed suspect Brian Wilson after 7:30 last night. This is Wilson's picture from a 2009 arrest. Records show a neighbor warned the deputy Wilson had already fired shots Monday night and said, quote, "If I was going to die tonight, I'd be okay with it." Records also reveal details of a conversation between Wilson and the deputy, with Wilson saying, quote, "Don't come up here," and quote, "I'm not in the expletive mood." When the deputy tried to de-escalate the situation by talking with Wilson, Wilson said, quote, "I will expletive kill you." Then going on to say, quote, "I'm not expletive playing. You better just expletive go if you want your family to see you tomorrow," and continuing to tell the deputy to leave. Then court records show Wilson approach the steps near the deputy's location and a shootout occurred. Overnight, investigators searched the yard with a metal detector and cut into a wall, tracking down shell casings and more. The court records now detail at least 2 bursts of gunfire happened, with a definitive pause between them, and the deputy's body camera recorded the sounds of multiple clicks, consistent with a trigger being pulled, but a gun striking a fired cartridge or an empty chamber. Investigators found 2 guns believed to be fired by Wilson, a semi-automatic pistol, and a revolver. Tonight, the Morrow County Sheriff is remembering Deputy Shearer as a, quote, "great guy."
And someone who always had a smile on his face. Tom Bosco is live at the Morrow County Sheriff's Office tonight with the legacy he leaves behind. A truly tough day out there, Tom.
Yeah, a tough and emotional day, Mike and Jessica. You know, we've seen neighbors come by. You can check out this cruiser here behind us that come by, dropping off flowers and mementos here on this cruiser. The emotion raw and real this morning as the sheriff had to tell us that one of his deputies was killed in the line of duty.
I don't even know what to say.
Sheriff John Hinton's voice broke a number of times during a news conference as he had to reveal to the public the name of the deputy shot and killed Monday night. 31-year-old Daniel Shearer, shot and killed
responding to a domestic violence call. He was trying to de-escalate the situation of the man who appeared to be ready to die. Here's what we know about Deputy Daniel Shearer. He leaves behind his mother and father, who live nearby. He was serving in his first law enforcement job. The sheriff says he hired Shearer in 2021, 4 years ago, and that the deputy was positive and upbeat.
Always had a smile on his face, never in a bad mood. He came to work every day. He loved his community. He loved the job.
Fellow deputies marked cruisers with black tape across the sheriff's star in honor of Shearer. That, as emotional neighbors.
Yeah, they didn't show his face. But that's the guy that took out the deputy. They didn't put his face up right away too. I know that they didn't put his, but he was a heavy-set white dude. Let me show you his image. Of course, you know this the one happened down in Cincinnati. This guy right here. He got ran over. I mean, it's a sad case. I mean, and this the suspect that went over. He ran him over. Let me see. Now this is what the suspect looked like. They didn't really put his face on the news right away, but that's the picture. The guy on the heavy-set guy. But that's the guy that took out the deputy. But they didn't put his face in there like they did Rodney Hitton's. Even when it went into the news. And like there's one couple commentators that when they showed up to him, Rodney Hitton, they had the whole officer police department looking at him. But I wonder if they're gonna give him the same smoke when all these deputies and police gonna show up after what he did to this deputy up there. Or are they gonna intimidate him like they intimidate Rodney Hitton? Because they both did the same thing. They both took out sheriff deputies and officers. Which was a horrific thing. Because both sheriff deputies was doing the job. But you see how the justice system is? How the news stations do things here in Ohio? And they focus more on the deputy and then the suspect. But when they did, when they didn't show too much of the suspect till later on. But in the case of the situation in Cincinnati, they showed Hinton right away. Then they showed the deputy's picture. But they showed the suspect in court and everything. Now one is the same news station is going to do him like that. I'll let you know if it does, to see if they give him the same kind of energy that they get that guy Brian, who unalived that deputy, had this, as a Hitton unalived that deputy down there. And you're gonna see the two different sides, how the reaction is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, another double standard in America. Take care. Be blessed. See you on next video.